What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another brand new Naruto What If, and boys, am I glad to be making one of these again. It's been a little bit of a time since I've made a Naruto one, but I figured I'd take a little bit of a back step, refresh, work on my hero one since I wasn't really focusing on those for a while. And now that I've had a little bit of a break from these, I can truly say that I honestly miss it. I'm coming back with a straight banger. This is one of those stories that isn't like the other stories that I make usually, and it's going to be having a whole different dilemma towards it. So I have a very strong feeling you guys are actually going to be messing with this one heavily. So let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments, and also make sure to check out the What If Xehther was an MHA video. That one's a banger, and I put so much work into it. Also, I made it on my birthday, so come on, you gotta go watch it. Anyways though, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you enjoyed this video and leave a like and all that extra stuff, and with no further ado, enjoy.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
We start our story off immediately with Naruto hearing his alarm clock. He then realizes it's been ringing for quite a while. He thinks to himself, crap, and immediately he would begin running straight towards the direction of where he should make it to, his class. Naruto was running late, and the reason he's running late is because the last day he just got beat up. It was his birthday, and let's just say every year on his birthday, the villagers aren't nice to him, okay? We're just gonna put it nicely. They beat on him till he's blue and red, right? And Naruto had already stitched up his bandages, and obviously because he has the Nine Tails within himself, he heals faster. However, not enough to make it so that he didn't have to get a good night's rest, and with that, he wasn't able to make it to class early. He missed about 1 hour of it and was running towards class. Once he finally ended up arriving, Iruka would look at Naruto and say, "Naruto, you're late." Naruto would say, "Sorry, but before he could finish his sentence, Iruka would cut him off and tell him that, they'll talk after class. Naruto from here would then go sit down, and then during the class, he would just try to pay attention as much as he can. Eventually, he ends up passing out, and Iruka would finally wake him up, slamming a book on his desk, telling him that he needs to read about 20 pages of this, and that he's not going to be leaving until he does so, saying that he's going to be going out, getting some food, and when he comes back, Naruto should be done. Naruto would look at Iruka and say, "But I was late because," and Iruka would say, "I don't want to hear it, Naruto. Also, clean yourself up. You look like a train ran over you." And Naruto just looks down and would just be like, "Okay." From here, Naruto would continue just sitting there, right? And he's just trying to study, he's trying to do his thing. And it's at this point that Naruto would be like, "It's so hot in here." And then he opens a window. It'd be a pretty rainy day on this day, and I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm going with this. Boom. Lightning strikes, Naruto immediately would be passed out, and when Iruka enters the classroom, he sees Naruto on the floor straight charred with his skin burning. However, one weird thing that he notices is that Naruto's healing. Naruto would wake up in the nurse's office about 1 week later, and not to sound like messed up, but I'm gonna say it. Like, the nurses quite literally would have tried to get rid of Naruto and cancel his prescription to life by putting poison inside of his medication that they would have used, because they just don't like him. Let's say that these poisons ended up losing a lot of their families to the Nine Tails, and unlike the other people in the village, they really hate Naruto. So they did everything that they could possibly do to ruin his life, and what's the best thing that they could do other than end it? So they try to do that, but ultimately it doesn't work because his body could fight off the poison faster than it can enter his system, and eventually Naruto would finally wake up. Once he's awake, Naruto would immediately be greeted by Hiruzen at the door, who would tell Naruto that he's missed a week of school and that he needs to make it back. Naruto would ask what happened to him, and Hiruzen would say it's not important, but to go back to class and to stop being late and all that stuff. And he just literally just gets chewed out. Hiruzen doesn't say, "Are you okay? Are you alright?" None of that. Like, he literally could not care less. He then tosses an envelope to Naruto and says, "Oh yeah, and this is the last check I'm gonna give you. Go ahead and find yourself a job or something. Plus, you're going to become a ninja soon, so you don't need my money anymore." And Naruto looks at Hiruzen and he'd be like, "Hiruzen, but I can't." And Hiruzen just says, "Later, Naruto," as he would exit the room, and Naruto would just sit there and just realize that he's starving. Naruto from here would then end up calling the nurses, and he would ask them for food. Then they end up bringing him a sandwich that's has some poison in it, and Naruto eats it and he devours it. He's then like, "I'm hungry, I'm still starving." And immediately Naruto would be like, "Can I get anything else?" And the nurse would be like, "No, Naruto." She's walking out the door and then she suddenly trips. And Naruto, as he looks at her, he realizes that she falls in slow motion. He's like, "What the?" As he then realizes that he's seeing everything move slowly. Naruto then has everything return to normal, and then Naruto would question what that was, but ultimately he leaves the hospital grabbing his things, and he would make his way home only to find that his house is a mess, and that there's a bunch of lint everywhere, and that all his food is expired. Naruto would immediately make it to the grocery store, where a man would end up charging him a bunch more for the food. And Naruto's pretty angry about that, but what's he gonna do? Suddenly, it would be at this point that the man would stop moving altogether, and Naruto looks at him and would be like, "Hello, dude? Like, aren't you gonna charge me?" And the man just stays still. Naruto looks around himself and sees that everybody else is still as well. And then Naruto just makes his way towards where the food is at, grabs a bunch of it, and then rushes home. And the man would be completely shocked because Naruto just disappeared in midair. Suddenly, Naruto back at home, Naruto would say, "That was awesome." And then he starts chowing down, eating so much food until eventually he passes out. The next day he wakes up and realizing that he's late for school, he'd be like, "Crap." Naruto would immediately tap into the speed force and do his routine that he has to do so fast without realizing it. But ultimately he would make his way to class and realize that only about 20 seconds had passed. Naruto realizing this, he'd be like, yo, I have powers, you know what I mean? Like, that realization, I don't know if you guys have seen the brand new Flash movie, but he has that kind of moment where he just goes crazy. Naruto, once he makes it into class, he would immediately begin running around and being like, "Watch this." He begins moving so fast and people just watch lightning zoom past them. And it would be yellow lightning, the same one as Barry Allen from the CW show. And they're just like, what's even going on? Like, how did Naruto get this fast? Sasuke would even be jealous, like heavily. And then he would tell Naruto how in the world he got so strong. Naruto would say that he really has no idea, but he is now, and that he's probably the strongest in the class because of this. Iruka then ends up calling Hiruzen, and he would end up taking Naruto towards him, where they would both pretty much interrogate him, and they would like begin to get like forceful and like angry at him, saying like, "How did you get these powers?" And Naruto would say like, "I don't know." Iruka at one point would be about to smack Naruto in the head, but Naruto dodges and says, "You can't touch me anymore." And from here, Iruka looks at him and would be like, "Whatever, Naruto, go back to class." Naruto would do so, and it would be on this particular day that Iruka would be feeling like an extra prick. He then looks at the class and says, "Alright guys, for today, we're going to be having a little bit of a training exercise. I want all of you to fight against Naruto. He thinks he's so strong, so how about we humble him? Oh yeah, and don't hold back. If there's any accidents, then we'll clean them up when we get to them." And eventually, the entire class locks eyes on Naruto. Choji, Shikamaru, they wouldn't really be too interested. Kiba would definitely be willing to destroy Naruto. Sasuke, he's kind of jealous right now, so he's angry. And then Sakura, she doesn't like Naruto. Ino, she's indifferent. And then all of the extras would be indifferent. Hinata doesn't want to attack Naruto, obviously, but, you know, so she just kind of like just stands back, just like Shino, not Shino, but just like Shikamaru and Choji and Hinata. They're really the only ones that don't attack Naruto. But Naruto would begin getting attacked by all of them, and he would watch them all coming at him in slow motion. Naruto proceeds to blitz at them, punch one to the face, punch another one to the stomach, elbow one in the side of the head, grab one and pretty much trip them, putting something in front of them, and then sticking one of their fingers inside of their noses, blitzing towards the other one, giving him a wedgie. And as for Sasuke, he would end up making him completely naked and just leaving him there. Eventually, time would finally return to it normal, and Naruto in a flash of lightning would blitz right by them. Everybody would finally look around, and realizing what had just happened in front of them before their very eyes, would all be like, "What?" And Sasuke has to cover his thingy-majigger, and then Naruto would say, "Oh, I guess he's not as cool down there as he is up there, huh?" And all the girls would begin to be like, "Naruto!" And then Naruto would laugh, and you know, Sasuke would go bright red in the face, and he runs away booty butt cheek naked. And then immediately Naruto laughs, and Iruka would be about to punish Naruto, but that's when Naruto just blitzes out of there, and he would finally make his way home. Naruto, realizing that he now has access to all these incredible powers, would wonder, what else can I do? And so, for that same day, Naruto would begin just doing all sorts of crazy things. Naruto at one point would be about to run into a tree, and it'd be at this point that Naruto would barely be able to stop himself, but he would slam into it, and the concussive force would knock him out. the very next, like in 30 minutes, he would wake up and make his way home, realizing that he is starving. Naruto would wonder why in the world he's so hungry ever since he got these powers, but ultimately Naruto goes and robs another shopkeeper, taking as much food as he could possibly need, and ultimately leaving a decent amount of money there, but not enough to cover what Naruto took, right? Because like Naruto's not evil yet, you know what I mean? Like Naruto's still not full on Reverse Flash. However, one thing that I will note is that every time that Naruto does something like a little mischievous, Naruto's yellow lightning is like slightly like changing pigmentation. It's like becoming orange. It has like little flashes of orange in there, and that's just Naruto continuing on to do everything the way that he is, right? Like everything is just kind of normal for him. Eventually, what would pretty much end up happening is that I need to actually, before I cover anything, I need to explain something. So obviously we all know that the negative speed force is pretty much just hatred, and then the speed force, and like it kind of like feeds off of that, and that's how you're able to gain the powers and all that stuff. Well, originally I figured that like there was no real way of making Naruto like evil speedster, so I was just gonna make him a normal speedster and make him evil, until I finally realized that Naruto has, in OG Naruto at least, the main little thing for evil he could possibly need. Like he has Kurama. Kurama's been said to have so much hatred in his heart, and I think that he has just enough to keep up with the same levels as Reverse Flash. So the more that Naruto uses the powers of the Speed Force, little by little Kurama is just like siphoning some of its powers, and the Speed Force itself is siphoning Kurama into it. So Kurama's literally just getting absorbed, and Kurama's like literally being fed to the Speed Force itself. Like Kurama is he's controlling the Speed Force and like getting corrupted by it even more. And like Naruto, even though he doesn't realize it, day by day is getting like a little more evil, you know what I mean? But ultimately what would finally end up going down is Naruto would find himself in the classroom after having passed the test. This time around, they tried to fail him due to his like test scores, but Naruto's physical scores were just so insane that they just couldn't fail him. Eventually, Mizuki ends up telling Naruto that he needs to do one more test before finally becoming a Chunin, and tricking Naruto, or so he would believe, would end up telling him to go steal the Scroll of Sealing. Naruto immediately would ask where is it, and Mizuki would say, "It's in the Hokage's office, bring it to me." But before he could even finish his sentence, Naruto blitzes over there, grabs the scroll, reads it, writes it down on a different scroll, writes all the information, might I add, not just one, like not just the multi-shadow clone, but all of it. We're talking Flying Raijin, we're talking Rasengan, we're talking summoning jutsus that are crazy, we're talking Reaper Death Seal jutsu in there. Like it's crazy how much knowledge Naruto was able to gain off of this. By the way, just to let you guys know, this is probably going to just be a two-parter series, so yeah, considering how busted Naruto is, I'm not going to be pulling a CW Flash and making it so that some villains, because they have an ice gun and or something like that, they're somehow able to beat Naruto. No. And Naruto's not also gonna have that thing of like, oh, I don't kill people, you know what I mean? Like, so he doesn't really care about those things. And what I'm ultimately going to be having happen is Naruto returns to Mizuki, gives him the scroll, and would say, "So is that it?" And Iruka, once he sees that scroll, would be like, "Mizuki, what are you doing with that scroll?" Naruto would say, "Mizuki told me to grab it," and immediately they would both stand off against each other. Naruto begins to speed up time, or sorry, not time, but speed himself up, and he would watch them both face off against each other and fight against each other in class. All the students would be watching this, and Naruto would end up actually like going over to Hiruzen's office and saying that Mizuki made him steal the scroll, putting it back in the Hokage's office, and making his way back and just straight up destroying Mizuki in one fell swoop, punching him square in the you know, the family jewels, and Mizuki would get knocked out, only to be investigated by Biki and never to be heard from again. Following this, the very next day they would all be finally put on their own teams, and Naruto would still be placed on Team 7, where during this time what would end up pretty much going down is that, well, just the basic things that you guys might expect, such as Naruto just going on to meet Kakashi Sensei about 2 hours later. However, because Naruto was getting bored after like 5 minutes passed, Naruto decided to do a little bit of exploring around the village, running around and like straight peeping on the girls in the bath, like without them even noticing. Like Naruto even like, you know what I'm like Naruto's feeling a little zesty, you know what I'm saying? Zesty's not even the word, but Naruto's feeling like a Rizophile, you know what I mean? Like he's feeling like using a little charisma, you know what I mean? And, you know, Naruto gets a little peek at what Sakura's packing, you know what I mean? And he doesn't like it. He immediately loses all feelings for Sakura. But following this, what would end up going down is Naruto goes and gets ramen and like he enjoys his day. Bro literally has time to like even learn the multi-shadow clone jutsu before Kakashi arrives, and eventually Naruto would return back to class and he would just be sitting there as Sasuke would like be jealous out of his mind, being like, I can't believe Naruto was able to leave and return that fast, you know what I mean? And then like when Kakashi arrives, he'd be like, follow me. They then go up to the rooftop, they have introductions, and eventually after that would happen, they would finally be told that they're going to be taking the bell test tomorrow. The very next day would finally come, and once the bell test would then be told to them about what's going to happen, and Kakashi would be like, 3, 2, like Kakashi says it in slow motion, and Naruto's just looking at him with this bored expression on his face as he blitzes Kakashi with both bells and then stands in front of them like clinging them together. He then says, so are we done, can we pass? And Kakashi would be like, what? As you know, he's like, how did you? And Naruto says, I got them. Do I win? Like, do I become a Geni now? And Kakashi says, not quite, Naruto, give them back. From here, Kakashi then goes on to show off his Sharingan, and Sasuke, before he can even like start the match once again, Sasuke would be like, how did you get those eyes? And Kakashi would say, Sasuke, not now. But Sasuke would not be having it. He'd be like, how did you get a hold of those Sharingan? Like, all the Uchihas are dead. And then Kakashi would end up telling to him that they were a gift from an old friend, not to worry about it. Like, he's not evil, he didn't steal them off of somebody's corpse, if that's what he's thinking. And Sasuke's like thoughts would finally be calmed down for a second, but Sasuke rushes in at Kakashi and he would immediately get into a taijutsu fight. However, because Kakashi's using the Sharingan, even though in the original it was a stomp, this time it's a stomp times like 3, because he's just reading them like a book, even more than before, right? And then Naruto's just watching Sasuke utterly fail. Naruto then gets sent flying to the ground, and Naruto stands over him saying, need a little help? And Sasuke would say, I don't need nothing from you. As from here, Naruto says, I'm pretty sure you do. And you know, Kakashi just looks at the direction of Sasuke, who rushes him again, and then Naruto proceeds to just watch as Sasuke gets tied to the post. Afterwards, Naruto like fake yawns and he looks at Kakashi. He then blitzes and goes get a water, and then he begins to drink it in front of Kakashi. And Kakashi would be like, how did you? Before Naruto like leaves, comes back, and Naruto would straight have a bowl of ramen, just like literally eating the ramen in front of Kakashi. And Kakashi would just be watching this like, how are you doing? Like, I don't even see you move, bro. It's like a little flash of lightning and bam, you're back. Like, what is going on? Kakashi would be thinking. He's like, what are you? You know what I mean? And Naruto's just like, oh, I'm fast. As from here, Naruto creates a bunch of clones, literally just creates hundreds of clones, and then he proceeds to have them all just run around Kakashi, creating like the biggest tornado you guys have ever seen. Like, it's insane how massive this thing is. And Kakashi's just standing in the mid center of it, and then, you know, Naruto just walks up to him slowly saying, so do you yield? And Kakashi just like, he's wide-eyed, like his Sharingan is just like, what do I even do? From here, another 50 Naruto would run counterclockwise until eventually the tornado would be like siphoned of all of its energy and it would finally dissipate. Kakashi would just look at Naruto, just too shocked to even be like, oh, you failed, like this is supposed to be about teamwork. And Naruto then just leaves the area. Kakashi from here would say, I guess you passed, like what am I supposed, like that kid itself is already stronger than me, like what really is gonna happen? He then goes to Hiruzen's office and talks to him about how Naruto was even stronger than himself at the age of 13, bro. At the age of 13, Naruto's already stronger than him. And Hiruzen would be like, that's not good. The Nine Tails must be, like, he's like thinking to himself that it's the Nine Tails, and Kakashi's like, that's not what it feels like. Like, I've seen Jinchurikis, but Naruto, he seems to just be using his own power. Naruto he's faster than light, Hiruzen. Naruto is so incredibly fast. I couldn't even track him with my Sharingan. Hiruzen would have a little bit of sweat drop from his forehead and he would think, it's worse than I thought. As from here, he would tell him to keep a close eye on Naruto and to make sure that nothing ever goes wrong. Kakashi would say that he'll try his best, And Hiruzen would say that for 3 weeks, they are to simply just keep a watch of Naruto and have him go on worthless missions. Naruto eventually, for the following next 3 weeks, would go on those said 3 weeks worth of D-rank missions, and eventually the day would finally end up coming when they would finally report to Hiruzen, get their pay, and Naruto would ask Hiruzen for a higher ranked mission. Hiruzen would say that he has nothing for him, unfortunately, with a smirk on his face, and it'd be at this point that a drunken man busts in his office and says, "You promised me ninjas, I need some ninjas, take me back to my village, Hiruzen." And Hiruzen just sighs and he's like, "Look, I wasn't gonna do this, but it looks like you guys are gonna get the luxury of taking this drunken mess to his village. Get him out of here. I would much rather have you be out of the village and out of my hair than for this guy to still be here." As from here, Naruto grits his teeth at the thought of this, and he would think to he would just like speed up time as he like just looks at Hiruzen, who's like currently just stuck in place because he's like moving so fast, and Naruto walks around him just thinking, "You know, I could snap your neck at any moment. You're lucky I'm not evil." And he just simply proceeds to walk out of there. He just leaves, and he thinks to himself, "These damned villagers always taking me for granted. Who do they think I am? Who do they think they are? They think they can just walk over me? Nah, not anymore. I'm gonna do what I want now."